Welcome to Muhai Martial Arts Dojo, located in Northern California. And today, we're going to take a little time to get to know who I am. Some of my students have asked some questions, so this is for the YouTube channel. My name is David Gagnon. I'm from Canada originally, Victoria, BC. I moved to Japan when I was 17 years old, and I spent 10 years there. Actually, I went there for 3 months as a work visa, and it ended up being 10 years. I was very fortunate to have some good martial arts training out there. I trained in the Bujikan with Misaki Hatsumi and all his masters. I also trained in the Ginbukan and also the Tenshin Shoden Katori Ryu, which was an experience in itself. So one of the questions asked is when I started martial arts, what age? And it was around age 8. I entered a karate training at the YMCA, and when I was 10 or 11, I kind of went to the main dojo, which would have been downtown. I was invited, and it was a Wado-Ryu karate system, and I did that for many years until I got my Shodan, my first degree black belt. And then along the way, I met a guy from England that did Ninpo Taijutsu, which I had no idea what that was. I know it was in the early 80s, and the ninja boom had just hit Canada with the Shokasugi movies and all these ninja TV shows like The Master and things like that. And I really didn't know anything about ninja or ninjutsu. I just thought it was a Hollywood thing. I really didn't know. And I met this guy from England that was a Bujikan member, and I started training with him a little bit, and I decided to immerse myself. I found it to be a little bit more realistic and more practical, and very different than what I was doing. I remember when I was 15 years old, I was a karate champion in our area. We did the tournament circuits and stuff, and I remember being 15 and my head was very big, ego, and punching and kicking and winning all these tournaments and stuff. And then I went to his class, which was held in a park basically, and I went in with the same attitude, and I left very educated that night. Everything I had been doing was incorrect, wrong, and I was heading down the wrong path with the martial arts, and I was very fortunate to meet him. And then I trained in Ninjutsu for about a year under him, and after that he said, David, why don't you think about going to Japan? And I was like, what? And I was 16 at the time, and so I trained for another year with him, and then an opportunity came up to work in Japan, a 3-month contract in a hotel in a place called Gumaken, Manza Hotel, and I have some photos of that you can see. It was famous for hot springs and whatnot, and I started out working there as housekeeping, dishwasher, and then eventually I got into prep cooking and then I became a chef, and I actually got to cook for the Prince of Japan twice, which was a pretty big thing. It was pretty cool. And I used that as a launching point to find Misaki Hatsumi, the Grandmaster in Ninjutsu, located in Noda and Chibuken, which is very countryside, and I went down there and I got accepted, and I just loved it, and I spent about 10 years there, and it was the best time of my life. It's not easy living in Japan as a foreigner, but countryside was very neat for me, and well, now I'm here in America, and I got my green card solely based on martial arts, and then in 2012 I became a citizen through the Obama administration, and now I have a school in Northern California. So I hope you enjoy.